Hey Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. I realize our view is a little snug right now, but I think that's going to be okay once I get the box opened up. I just didn't feel like doing a different setup because in typical Amazon fashion, this was originally supposed to arrive on December the 18th, and then it moved to January the 18th, and then it moved to today, which is January the 13th. I'm not sure yet when you're going to be watching this. Probably January 16th, but we'll see. Regardless, it's the DC Multiverse, Lobo and Spacehog and Dog. Pretty highly anticipated figure by me, even though I absolutely have to stop saying I don't collect DC Multiverse because I just did a whole week of Batman and Robin reviews, but I have never had a good Lobo figure. And I can already see a couple of things I don't love about this one, but I think this has the potential to be one of the best Lobo releases we've ever seen, and I'm pretty excited about it. This is the typical DC Multiverse thing. It's got the little gold label sticker, which I don't even know what the difference is between gold label, collector's edition, and all that kind of stuff. I do know that McFarlane just put a bunch of figures up for $40 a piece, which is a $15 price hike over the comparable 25 of previous releases. So the holding the line at the $20 price point for a regular figure, we knew it wasn't going to last forever, but it's he seems to be diving into things full on. But regardless, really cool illustration on the side. Now I don't have anything comic related that's come in a box like this, so I don't know what they typically do, but I do love that they actually have an illustration here and not just an image of the toy. On toy packaging, I like to have something other than just pictures of the toy. That just makes it seem cooler to me. We've got a couple of alternate portraits in here, which I didn't realize. That's pretty cool. Some kind of crazy guitar. I don't know, whatever. You know what McFarlane boxes look like. Dog is just a slug, which is a little disappointing. You know, Hasbro has spoiled us with their classified animals. But it looks like I'm going to need to keep these instructions handy so I know what the heck to do with any of this. But let's go ahead and open it up because I want to check this thing out. I, of course, loved Lobo when Lobo first came out because I was younger and the whole crass, brash, anti-hero thing was very appealing and cool to me. And, I still find Lobo amusing, but I think if the character were introduced today, I wouldn't find it quite as endearing as I did back then. I cannot remember the first Lobo. I don't remember how Lobo came into my awareness. No idea. This is a little tricky here. Let's try pulling out from that side. No, maybe not. This thing's jammed. Oh, wait a minute. All right, so we've got a box there that comes out. And then hopefully Spacehog will just... It's pretty snug in here. This is the first time, and it's not a problem. I appreciate that they've packed it. Oh my gosh. They've packed it securely. This thing is much bigger than I expected. I appreciate that they've packed it securely. Because, of course, it's a problem if something's rattling around in the box and we end up with, any kind of damage or anything. So I'm going to set the Spacehog to the side for now. It is nice and light, which I appreciate. Oh, you know what? I just said I was going to keep that box handy so I could look at the instructions, and I just tossed it across the room. All right. Set it right over here. There we go. So let's take a look at the box first. I have to say, I hope there is not like a full... Well, it's not big enough. I was going to say, I hope there's not a full DC Multiverse figure box in here, and there is not. Wow, he is big. This is a large figure, as it should be. Lots of accessories in here. First thing I notice is, of course, the McFarlane style, hey, it's a chain, but we're just going to make it a big chunk of plastic, which I hate. It is at least very flexible. So for what this is, it's designed well. I just wouldn't have made it out of that. But that, I mean, that's so Todd. All right. Got the alternate portrait. I also appreciate that everything is bagged separately. It just seems everything is pointy. Be careful. Like, this is not flexible at all. This will stab you. As you could see. There we go. See, look at that. That is rigid plastic there. And his guitar, which I have a feeling, like off the top of my head, I don't know what the guitar specifically is. Ooh. My guess is it's something from the Dark Knight's metal or whatever, but it may not be. It may be a Lobo thing that I'm just not aware of off the top of my head. There he is, the last Zardian himself. I'll do a little size comparison because I do still have a Black Adam figure sitting up here because I don't really have anywhere else to put it. Wow. Oh my gosh. Just pull that right out of there. I gotta say, pretty impressive set so far. So the main man, let's get Dog out of the frame, is a huge chunk of DC Multiverse figure, which I appreciate. And that is one thing I'll say is that McFarlane, you know, I don't know that the scaling is always on point, but McFarlane does not shy away from making characters as big as they need to be. You can see our Black Adam is just over 7 inches there, and Lobo is coming in at about 8 inches. He is big, thick, much larger than Black Adam, who is one of the larger, like, beefier figures I've seen in DC Multiverse as far as just humans go. He looks great. Profile is really nice. The articulation isn't junking up everything. The Bite Me fanboy, pretty fantastic there. Let's see. Do a little zoom. Looks like we got a little bit of paint loss, paint smudge here, but at the same time, this is meant to be like an old biker jacket style thing, so it does kind of blend in with the rest of it. It's not a big deal. The texture of the leather vest looks good. These spikes are soft just because they're part of this vest. The vest is attached to his upper torso, but we've got it's that nice ball joint articulation that'll work more as you play with it. Moves pretty well. You've got bicep swivels. Double jointed elbows. Everything moves nicely. Got ratcheting joints. Your standard McFarlane stuff. The shoulder joints are what they are. I'm going to be very curious to see how well he interacts with the Spacehog. So yeah, everything moves nicely. Looks good. The wrists. Let's figure this out. Okay, so it is standard McFarlane wrist joints. Unfortunately, the wrappings here are a softer plastic, so you'll be able to get in there and kind of move that around as you need to. Great sculpt. Everything looks good. Oh, look at that. His arm popped right out. That's probably not supposed to happen. But it pops right back in, and it's not like it's loose. I'm just a little surprised at how easily it popped out there. Belt buckle looks great. Painted studs all around the belt. But are these belt loops? Should these be blue? I think. Not a huge deal, but also, yeah. We get a little paint smudge back here on the back of his leg. That's not great, but I might be able to just clean that off. Okay, so the spikes here, they are pointy, but they're also rubbery. So you can move the articulation around and not worry about stabbing yourself too badly. Double jointed knees, everything works nicely. Nice ratcheting joints again. Got the superfluous toes. I'll never understand this. And his ankles probably aren't going to do a whole lot. If you can see in there, it is the standard ankle joint. But it's going to be tough. It's tough but doable. There's not a lot of range here just because of the design of this boot and the shin plate. I do wish these straps were painted. Like black would be nice. I think customizers, people who paint stuff up, are probably going to have fun with this one, adding a lot of extra detail. Knee pads look awesome. Great big figure. I'm happy with it. I am. It is what I wanted out of a Lobo figure. We didn't even look at the portrait. Looks fantastic. Look, one thing that you have to give McFarlane Toys credit for is their sculpting. When they get to just cut loose and do a cool comic character, they do a fantastic job. So this portrait looks great, but I also really love this portrait. Matter of fact, this might be the one I use. He's got the big mutton chops going on. This is riding the Spacehog, and I am absolutely going to have him riding the Spacehog, so this might... Let's go ahead and swap these out. Hopefully. Oh, look at that. Pops right off. Whoa. I was not expecting that. There is another barbell in there. Okay, so that pops out. That's weird. I don't know that I've seen that designed that way before. It is going to be really hard to get this head on with the spiky hair stabbing into my fingers. Oh man, that was unpleasant. I think it's in there. Yeah, it's in there. Okay. Pretty great. So let's pop. Oh, this is going to be difficult. Let's just put that aside for now. Okay. So there we go. Set him to the side. Take a look at Dog. Dog has 0 points of articulation, but does have a big ugly seam going across his backside, which is unfortunate. He looks... the sculpt is great, though. The production is questionable. Lots of ugly seams on this one. But look at that. I love the hat or helmet or headgear or whatever you want to call it. The spiked collar, again, very, very pointy. It'll poke holes in you. But looks great. Excellent little accessory. And you know what? I guess here is where form maybe does overrule function, as much as I like to talk about the G.I. Joe classified animals. If Dog were articulated in the way that Timber or Junkyard were articulated, he wouldn't be able to sit like this. And I kind of want him sitting like this. So I'm going to say I'm good with this decision, because this just has so much character, and as an accessory for this Lobo figure, I'm going to say I'm pretty happy with that. It works. Let's see. So we want to put his... Oh man, that is not coming off at all. That's the first time I've run into that with a DC Multiverse figure. Usually these parts pop right off. Maybe that just slides over his hand? Oh, yeah, I guess it does. Huh. So that works pretty well. So not my favorite decision for the chain and the hook, but, all right, I gotta admit, it does look good, right? It's a nice, big, thick chain. Let's rotate that around a little bit. And it looks like it's supposed to look. So again, I guess I can't complain too much with that. Okay. Here's the crazy three-neck, or I guess three-neck guitar. I was trying to figure out if this was some other kind of thing. Wool with Lobo on the back for some reason. It's very weird that the back is just hollow like this, but they went to the trouble of sculpting Lobo into it. So this, and then we've got the display stand, which is pretty cheap plastic, has some smudgy stuff on it, but it looks like it's all wiping right off. Looks great. So the guitar is just like this extra piece that just snaps here. Pretty cool. Whatever it is, it looks good. It's a nice little extra. And guess what? Look, there's paint on it, which feels almost a little, look, the main man sculpted into the top here. Like, this is a great looking piece. I dig it. So that's part of the base now. And presumably this goes in here and holds up the Spacehog. We'll just set that to the side for now, because now we need to take a look at the Spacehog. Which is... What an execution. What a large thing, too. I did not... This might be larger than NECA's Predator bike, which, by the way, I did buy. I think you can find my review of it. It's not a video review, but I think you can find my review of it on oldneedlessthings.com, if that still exists, which I'm not positive it does, which is kind of a shame, maybe. Yeah, I think this is going to end up being larger than the Predator bike. But, oh wait, I need to back out here. There we go. Sorry. It is lighter, and, okay, in a weird way, something like this being a cheaper material makes it easier to deal with, because while this plastic it's indisputable. Oh wait, okay, just so you see how the assembly works on this, you've got a square hole right there, the square right on the front, so that slides into there, and then on either side you've got the two peg holes that those just plug right into. And again, you've got these spikes here that make it kind of difficult to get a good grip. And you get a heck of a snap once those slide home. I mean, it's very simple. And it is, that means nothing to you. It's big, hollow, cheap plastic. Kind of like what the, if you remember the King Kong versus Godzilla toys, I can't remember what company made those. It's kind of like that. But again, I'm okay with that because it's lighter. I'm less worried about like little parts breaking off. And they put everything into the sculpt and the paint and everything else. So isn't that what matters? So the front piece, this is engineered very well. When it's just sitting on a surface, the front piece up here is just above, you can see, let's see. You can see it's just above the surface, so you're not putting any tension on this. So it's not going to bend out of shape or anything, which of course you're going to want to use the stand with this, or now that I'm thinking about it, I may end up hanging this from the ceiling because it's light enough that I think that'll work. But just great sculpted detail. You can see kind of the damage up the front here. The skull looks incredible. Very, all of the skulls and everything are very like Simon Bisley, and I don't know if that's what they're, oh, this is disappointing. This is a sticker, and mine is misaligned. If you can see right here, this top corner isn't quite, it's like a little further up this way than it should be. And again, I'm just going to do this because I'm not super worried about it. And I do like the gloss of it because it is supposed to be like an illuminated thing. But again, customizers are probably going to just rip that sticker out and paint this part. But speaking of paint, lots of painted wear and weathering. All of this sculpted detail, just fantastic. This is a cool piece just because it's something I've never had before. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, DC Collectibles did make a Spacehog. I don't know why I didn't have it. I don't know if I wasn't collecting DC Collectibles or DC Direct or whatever it was at the time. But this is the first one I've owned, and I got to say I'm very happy with the execution on it. Again, the lightness of it is really, really nice, but it looks fantastic. So let's see how well Lobo fits on it. Where did I put it? There he is. And considering the articulation and the design of DC Multiverse, I'm not super concerned about it because I can't even imagine already, like with very little effort, he fits right on. The hand is a little more firm than I would like. Oh, man, look at that. I didn't even notice. Look at that long thumbnail. And again, for customizers, look, all these rivets could be painted. There's a lot of fun to be had here. I like that we've got a mass market retail paint job. We've got a fantastic sculpt, and there's a lot of opportunity for those that want it to really plus this up and make it look even better. But for something that, and I don't know if this will hit mass market retail, man, might have to heat this hand up to get it on the handlebar. Oh, there we go. Got it. So just kind of reclining, got the hook out there ready to catch somebody, and then dog actually connects right here. Let me flip this around so I can actually get to, there's a little, you can see it's designed to slot on right here. And he should, that might take a little effort too. And again, I would rather this fit be a little too snug than loose, because at least he'll stay on there, and it looks like he will stay on there. So there it is. Oh, well, we got to put it on the stand. I mean, this is a pretty fantastic piece. If you had told me, I think what I'm going to have to do with Dog is heat this up, and then it'll fit on a little better. Because he's not seating all the way down. But I think once I heat him up, he'll be fine. If you had told me when I was like 18 years old or whatever that like I could get this would absolutely be in a prominent spot in my room. So let's put it on the stand. Make sure the balance and everything is good for that. Oh, and it sure is. It slides right in. There is a spot. Oh, that came out with it. Well, we'll just leave it right there. There's a grooved spot under a hole under the Spacehog that fits perfectly. This is great. This, I mean, it looks like, quality-wise, this almost looks like a statue. Like, the sculpt is that nice. The paint, again, it's mass market retail paint, but you could do a lot with it if you were so inclined. But this is a great looking piece. I think for the first time we've got a Lobo that represents the character exactly how most people would want him represented. So, well done, McFarlane Toys. Good job, everybody in the DC Multiverse crew. This has lived up to my expectations, for sure. Maybe even exceeded them a little bit, I'll be honest. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. And until next time, bite me, fanboy.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.